Okay, so the next question that we have on the menu today is asking us what are alternate interior angles? Now, alternate interior angles is a situation that becomes important when we have a line intersecting parallel lines. Okay, so let me draw an example of this. I know you might see it already on the right, but on the left, but if I redraw it, I think I can explain it as I go to make things extra fun. Okay, suppose we have two parallel lines. We got line, we got P1 and P2. Now these are two parallel partners. Parallel lines. The thing with parallel lines is that the angle between them is 0 degrees or 180 degrees or 360 degrees or any factor of those. So they're parallel lines, okay? So if I draw a colored line that like this, the red line, let's call this our, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Okay, so if this is our intersector line doesn't start with S, intersector line, we can see that it makes some angles with the two parallel lines. Now, what these angles are is we know that this angle, let's call that angle angle A. And we know that this is like a fundamental law of the alternate interior angles. You can see that the A is like the interior angle between the intersector and parallel 1. And if with parallel 2, the intersector line is also going to make that same A angle, but on the opposite side. That's why we have alternate interior angles, is because they're like on alternate sides of the intersector. So this angle right here, that also has to be A. Okay? And I promise you that is like always going to be true with parallel lines that are intersected. Now, this also applies to the other angle here, this angle B for blue. It's also going to be the same on either side of the intersector. So it'll be, but they're going to be alternate sides. So you see, if we are going from bottom to top of the intersector, the top left angle is going to be equal to the bottom right angle. Okay? And those have to be equal. And another fundamental law to keep in mind is that we know that maybe in another color or something to keep in mind is the angle A plus B has to be equal to 180 degrees. And that is very important to keep in mind. A lot of situations that have like parallel lines will require you to keep this fact in mind to help you progress through the question. So, and hopefully that's like moderately clear, because you can see like the angle of A plus the angle of B, they added together, they are going to be, just the parallel line itself, and that's 180 degrees. So it seems reasonable to me from the diagram, and it's always right. Like, I promise you, this is always going to be right, and definitely keep this in mind. Another thing to keep in mind is another place that you can see these angles in action is right here. So now that I'm with blue, you can see that B is also going to be the angle here and also going to be the angle here. So, alternate sides of that intersection between the intersector and one of the parallels, they're also going to have the same angle. And the same goes for A. If I get the color of A, which was green, this angle A and this angle B and this angle A are going to be the same. And no matter which way you look at it, like this B plus this A, or this B plus this A, it's always going to be 180, right? Because them added together is going to be like perfectly along the same line. So this is just how you would see this principle of alternate interior angles in action. It's definitely a beautiful thing. Okay, so just keep the 180 degree thing in mind, and you will be the coolest intersector of parallel lines ever. Okay, so the above solution is good. Awesome job.